Yo, what's good peeps? I'm gonna take a look at 10 things I love and hate about the Nintendo Classic Mini Super Nintendo Entertainment System, so make sure you keep it locked. Now, as a massive Super Nintendo fan, I guess I personally would be happy with any selection of games from a time period of gaming, which is possibly one of my favorite. The Super Nintendo Mini includes 21 great games that brings back so many epic memories of my childhood. Just flicking through the selection brought so many smiles to my face, and whilst I do think that there are easily a few more games that I feel should have been added to the selection, I do feel that as it stands, there is enough in there to at least keep you satisfied. Now, when I first plugged my Super Nintendo Classic in for the first time, the first thing I actually did was go straight to the new release game of Star Fox 2, simply to find out that it was locked and therefore was forced to have to play through the first level of Star Fox 1. Now, the first level of Star Fox 1 isn't exactly hard and can be done with under 10 minutes or so, but as someone who heavily rinsed Star Fox 1 back in the days on the Super Nintendo, I didn't really want that to be my first game to play in order to play Star Fox 2. To make matters a little bit worse, I'm not gonna lie, I personally wasn't even really that blown away by Star Fox 2 also, so I don't know whether the wait and also the anticipation was worth it, but at the same time I suppose it's still great that they did at least include a brand new game into the selection. One thing that I hated when I first got hold of a NES Classic Mini was the fact that it only came with one controller, and the official controller at the time of its release was really hard to track down for retail price, so you simply had to be prepared to spend over £50 for something which was retailing for around £20, or maybe go down the unofficial controller route to get something a little bit more affordable. With the Super Nintendo Classic Mini, it was amazing that Nintendo decided to give us two controllers included in the package this time around, especially with the fact that there were a few great two-player games included in the selection of games available, so at least two players from the comfort of your sofa can get to experience such a great console. Now, whilst I am happy that we did get two controllers included in the box, I just felt that the controllers that were produced did feel a little flimsy in comparison to the original Super Nintendo controllers, which to me is a little shame. The original Super Nintendo controller is up there amongst one of my favorite controllers, and I always appreciate how firm and even the depth of the button just felt on each press and the overall firmness from the controller, which is kind of something I really think Nintendo didn't get spot on with the Super Nintendo Mini version of the controller. One thing for sure, the build quality of the console is amazing and it looks absolutely phenomenal. When I took it out of the box, I couldn't believe how small it was and how close to the original it actually looked. Whilst I do have my personal gripes with the controller in particular, it still does look amazing, so overall from an aesthetics point of view, Nintendo did a great job. A similar issue that I found with the NES Classic was the controller leads are just way too small, which means you need to be quite close to the TV to at least play. In comparison to the NES version, the leads are a little bit longer, and I know there are a few controller extensions out there to purchase, which doesn't exactly break the bank, but just straight out of the box, it is a little bit annoying that Nintendo haven't exactly addressed the issue from the NES Mini. Let's just hope for the N64 Classic we do get some longer leads, so there's just at least time for you to at least relax on the sofa and game. Now, off the bat, one of the features that I really do like with the Super Nintendo Classic is the rewind functionality, where you get the opportunity to save up to 60 seconds, which is pretty handy if you die, so you can create a save state, rewind and try again without having to start whatever level over from scratch. This has certainly been a godsend. I'm not gonna lie, initially I did look at this as a little bit of cheating, but after a couple of frustrating moments, I did take the plunge and try it out, and then this has certainly been a great feature added to the console. I'm not sure if everyone feels the same as me with this argument, but I just found that some of the games on the big screen were simply unplayable. When I first played the likes of F-Zero, I couldn't even really make out much of the track, and even the likes of Mario Kart felt so blurry on my particular TV that did the game no justice. Don't get it twisted, this is not for every game, but some games like Donkey Kong Country and also Punch-Out did seem pretty cool, but there were just a few noticeable titles such as Street Fighter, Mario Kart and even F-Zero. On a larger screen they just didn't look that appealing for me personally. One of the features that I absolutely love is the ability to save your game at any point, which could have been a welcome feature back in the day. So all the gamers who were part of the 16-bit era, whether it was Sega Mega Drive or the Super Nintendo, I just think it's great to know that you can literally pick up and play from where you've left off. So this is yet again another great feature added to the console, which at least allows you to have that pick up and play moment. Now I know in my previous issue was the fact that some of the games were coming up a little bit blurry on the bigger screen, and maybe this argument might kind of be a contradiction in what I'm asking for, because it probably might make the situation a little bit worse, but I personally would have loved at least an option to stretch the display to fill the entire screen or give us a little bit more of the gaming window. The only available display options was 4:3, Pixel Smooth or Streamline, and whilst these options were cool, I still would have personally loved a 16:9 or a stretch option that fills a little bit more of the screen. I just felt that the ratio was a little bit too small for my personal likings, and there were some decent frame options, but I just felt like the screen was a little bit too small.
Final verdict.
Overall, I probably will come across a little bit biased when talking about anything to do with Super Nintendo, but this to me is a must-own console for all true Super Nintendo fans out there. I know there are so many emulators floating around that pretty much gives you access to all these games plus more, but to me it is just nice to get to experience the games the official way through a console such as this. It's by no means perfect. For me, I would have definitely loved the console to have a little bit more of a slicker look on a larger modern day TV, but there wasn't any issue in there that I found to be a deal breaker not to own one of these consoles. Anyway peeps, that was my very quick rundown of things that I loved and hate about the Super Nintendo Mini Classic. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you've had the opportunity to grab one of these consoles, and what's your thoughts so far. If you enjoyed this video, do hit the like button, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so before. And until next urban gameplay video, we definitely say peace out peeps.
Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for more cool urban gameplay videos.